All right, guys, today we're going to build on a skills that we've already practiced. Today we are practicing dividing decimals by decimals. Go ahead and put your name at the top. And I will tell you that this is going to be really similar. The only difference is not only do we have a decimal as our divisor, our decimal is also our dividend. So we're going to have a decimal both inside and outside the divisor tent. So starting off, it's going to start off kind of the same as yesterday. The first thing we need to do is the divisor, or the number outside, will need to be changed from a decimal to a whole number. And rather than try to squeeze a third example over here, I'm going to just use this example to talk us through. So if we have 2.48 divided by 0.84, that's going to be 2.48 is my dividend inside, and 0.84 outside. I'm sorry, before we do that, I forgot. You need to change this problem. 2.48 does not work here. We're going to change this to 2.52. Otherwise, we're going to end up with a really long decimal that you guys aren't going to want to figure out. So let's try that again. 2.52 divided by 0.84. All right. So if we need to make this number on the outside a whole number, we need to multiply by a power of 10 and add placeholders if we need to. So if we're going to multiply by a power of 10, we want to move our decimal 2 places over. So we're going to multiply by something with 2 zeros, which is 100. So if we multiply this by 100, we're going to end up with 84. And whatever I do to one side, I got to do to the other. If I multiply this by 100, my decimal place moved 2 spaces over here. How many spaces will it move here? 2. So it's going to move 1, 2. So we're going to end up with 252. The nice thing about having a decimal as your dividend, meaning inside your divisor tent, division tent, is that a lot of times when you go to move that decimal, we're not going to have to add a lot of placeholders because our decimal is already not at the end, so it already has places it can move. Okay, so then we're going to start out with 84 going into 252. How many times can 84 go into 2? 0 times. How many times can you go to 5? Or 25? 0 times. How many times can 84 go into 252? Well, if I did a little estimation, I'd probably say 3, but let's check it over here. 84, 84, 84. That's going to be 12. That's 1, 2, 3, 24, 25. What do you know? It goes in 3 times. 3 times 84 is 252. When I subtract, I get 0. Since I have a 0 here, I don't have to keep adding zeros to keep going. My answer is just 3. Go ahead and pause and try this one on your own. Okay, so here I have, both the decimal, it's going to move the same number of places. You guys probably already filled that out because all of these notes are pretty much mashed up from the last 2 days. So we're going to have 66 and 15 hundredths divided by 63 hundredths. If I move in my decimal 2 on the outside, I'm going to have 63. That means I move it 2 on the inside, so I'm going to put 6,615. All right. So, how many times can 63 go into 6? 0 times. How many times can it go into 66? Once. 1 times 63 is 63. When I subtract, I get 3. Bring down my 1. 63 cannot go into 31, so we're going to put a 0 up here. 0 times 63 is 0. When you subtract, you're going to get 31. Bring down your 5. All right, I'm going to do a little estimation. 63 rounds to 60, and 60 can go into 31 about 5 times. Let's try 5. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 6 is 30, plus 1 is 31. When I subtract, I get 0, so I don't have to keep going. My number ends right there. So 63 goes into 6,615 105 times. Just like 63 hundredths goes into 66 and 15 hundredths 105 times. You have 6 problems to try out today. Only one of them is a word problem that you don't really have to find an answer for. The rest of them are pretty straightforward. Again, since this is division, if you need more room, you can always work on the back or a separate sheet of paper. If you are having a hard time remembering the steps to long division, please look at some math games. Look on our Google Classroom. There are resources there. Don't forget, I added the notes page for parents to help out if your parents are having a hard time helping you as well. I'll see you tomorrow.